Thank you, Brother Gerson. It's a pleasure to share with you in this opportunity from El Salvador. We are in two days to equip some pastors and district superintendent and talk about mentorship. It's a passion for me. God has allowed me and the blessing. God has allowed me to serve in different capacities in the ministry. And then many people ask me and ask me how have you been doing this to go really far in this. In reality, as we walk as a family, God has honored us. God has placed us in high positions where a great experience, and this is all about the ministry. I remember when I started the multiplication center in 5 regions of Latin America, and I was the youngest group in the team, and some of them could be my father and grandfather. They doubled my age, but now I'm entering a new phase of my ministry as executive in my organization, and I'm the first person. I'm the youngest person to achieve this. And when people ask me, what did you do? I have 2 formulas, and I have 2 formulas that I want to share with you. Do the best that you can do with the resources you have in your hands. Do the best that you can do where you are with what I have. I not thinking what could I do, or what could I have been done, but what is the best that I could do, and where the place where I am with the resources that I have. And the second statement is in one way is and the other one is to look for mentors. Mentorship is an experience where you can walk holding the hand of someone in a safe place, that it can save you time and in effort. I always share the people that I mentor. You don't get where you are by yourself. I'm here in this position. The reason that I'm here in this position is because I have had mentors, and because we have had persons who have helped us to walk in this journey, to work the best way that we can. And so when I see the image of Moses and Joshua, you have this. You already know this mentorship because you have been doing this for every month. So, but I want you to take this image when Moses, God called him to the mountain. Moses, go up by himself, and I can imagine that the journey to climb up the mountain was really difficult. It was an unknown journey or path. Besides being an unknown place, it was also a holy place. And the first time for Moses, I bet that it was a challenging path, a challenging way to climb up the mountain. I don't know if you have done hiking. I don't know if you have done this, hiking or mountains, volcanoes. When I was in Ecuador, I used to love to climb up the volcanoes, the Pichincha volcano, the mountains, because it's an adventure. It's an adventure to climb them. But there is also some fears if there is a slide mud, or there's an earthquake, or if the volcano start erupting, because we don't know the path. But for Moses, it was an experience. To walk to the unknown, to a path that he didn't know. So that was really complex and challenging. But then Moses got used to that. The journey of Sinai Mount. But one time, Joshua also um, um, Joshua had to climb up, but then this time Joshua was not by himself, but Joshua was with Moses, and 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 the first time for Joshua was really different, how he experienced, and in terms of comparing with Moses, because Moses already walked this way. Um, so maybe Joshua was saying, "Well, I'm tired, I'm hot," but then Moses said, well, "Okay, there is a river." Um, and another part was saying, "Well, hurry up because we have wild animals here," um, or or be careful, Joshua. We can have landslides here. So for Joshua, the path was a little bit easier because Joshua was with Moses. Moses was a mentor for Joshua. And the same way, when we see the history of the story of Paul, where he was really prepared with abilities and skills, wonderful skills and talents. And then God called him to be an apostle, to open, to plant the churches in Asia and other regions. But there were some suspicions because, there was a group that they didn't trust him. And when this happened, even nowadays, and when someone has become Christian, and then it's the first time when we are a little bit suspectful, and this thing has happened in Venezuela because they heard that Maduro prayed to God, and so and everyone is saying like, well, now Maduro is Christian. So the same happened to Paul. But the same happened to Paul. But a man came, Barnabas, that he took care of him, and he walked with him when they came to the apostle in Jerusalem. Barnabas, introduced him. He was in charge of Paul. So if we see him of walking, Barnabas was with him, walking with him until they went to the first mission trip, and they preached the gospel after. Barnabas, the second time, Barnabas said, well, we're going to take Mark, but then Paul didn't agree, and then they split up. Paul took his own way, and then Mark took another way. Then Paul met Silas, and then and then and then and then in one of the letters, he requests that they can send Mark. And then we see Barnabas mentoring Paul, that he saw what the apostles couldn't see, and he walked with him and developed him. And then he saw in Mark what Paul didn't see, and he mentored him and he developed him until Paul himself benefit from the work that Barnabas did. So we believe that the work of the mentor, it's a follow-up work, is to be able to see the capacity that not even the mentees can see in themselves, and that we can walk with them, so that they can walk they can walk, that they can have a pace, a rhythm, that it's going to be easier for them and less difficult for the mentee, because he's working with someone who knows the path, he knows the way. So in this sense, the mentorship is a lifestyle that we developed. And many times I have persons that how can I be a mentor if I don't have persons in my church? But you have more experience than other persons around you. in the fact that you have walked more and your life, you can become a mentor. But a mentor is not someone who know all the answers, but it's someone who knows the way that help others to walk the way. Where when we talk about mentorship, we are not talking about coaching. Coaching is different. Coaching is to provide tools and strategies to improve, like for example, my organizational process, communication skill, or if I want to my skills, leadership. So then I look for this. Coaching helps us to develop a specific field or area. So mentor is someone who walk with us in a holistic way, and this is where I want to be sharing and start talking about. Definitely, when we talk about mentorship, we need to we're referring to the church environment, and so I believe that we need to see healthy leaders and church healthy churches and healthy communities. And communities will be transformed, and churches will be transformed because because and we cannot eventually transform communities if we don't have transformed churches. And in general, uh, church has become an irrelevant organization in the society, and we're paying the price, not fulfilling the Great Commission to fulfill the call from God. A friend of mine said, sadly, society see church as a cancer, but I don't believe that's the destiny of the church. I believe that the destiny of the church is to transform communities that preach, that train, that teach the kingdom of God, the same way that Jesus did. But we're going to achieve this. We're going to achieve this when we have healthy leaders and healthy pastors. We cannot have healthy churches when we have sick leaders and sick pastors. We cannot have healthy churches when the pastors are tired. We cannot have transformative churches when the pastors and leaders are not experienced the transformational experience. When we see community transformed, healthy communities, when we see communities that can experience the transformation of the kingdom of God, is because we have healthy pastors and healthy leaders and healthy churches. And this is really important in our journey in the Christian life now. In order for us to experience the transformation, I want to present a model for you. And so this is where we start with the holistic mentorship. So the mentorship has, so I don't know if, so if we're gonna, if the mentorship is to fulfill, to reach the transformation. The holistic mentorship has two important things. The first is the element of the to-do element. So we are learning to do. So the first statement that I said was, do the best that you can do. The first is to, that we can, what we do, like to teach, to preach, to go to the Bible study, to be part of the mentorship, to go to university, to get certification, diplomas. All this is concentrated and to do. But in the mentorship, this is more like coaching, like, I'm training you so that you can be a better communicator, that you can do your functions in a better way, and this is part of the model. But there is another part of the model, and is the to be element, and the to do is the exterior element, and to do has to do with the exterior, but the to be element of the mentorship is what I am and what I do. So what I am for and what I do, they need to be synced. They need to be linked, so it can happen a transformation. So the holistic mentorship is when we incorporate to the to do the development of the to be or being. So impact is not necessarily transformation, but transformation is an impact that lasts. Transformation is an impact that lasts. The impact just happened, it's a moment. But the transformation is impact that lasts forever. In this sense, when we talk about the transformation, or when we talk about holistic mentorship, we need to incorporate the development of the being to work in our interior. You cannot do what you are not. When we pretend to do something that we are not, we can do it for a while, but then we will fall. But it's not consistent. It doesn't last. The only thing that I can do is the thing that I am. So when we work the principle of the being, the importance of what we're trying to say is that we can develop intentionality of what we do, and this will bring more fruits. And so when we incorporate what we are with what we do, what we teach, what we preach, and we combine this, we incorporate this to what we are, so we can develop a holistic ministry that will allow us to bring transformation. So what I want to say, the holistic mentorship involves the development of the person. I'm not just a mentor so that the other person can do better things, but also a mentor because I can develop this person to be better. Because I'm looking for a coach, I look for a coach so I can do better things. But in the case of the mentorship, or of the journey of mentorship, the work of the mentor, of the job of the mentor, is to help the person to become a better person. And so which areas we can work? So if we can move to the slide number 10. So when we talk about developing the person's life, are 4 areas that we need to develop, and this will help us as a mentors to develop the mentees. And this is what we call the spiritual, emotional health, the physical and cognitive health. And then in Luke, we read that Jesus was growing in wisdom and stature, was growing physically. He was becoming a strength. He was growing not just knowing about, but also growing as physically, but also he was growing in grace before God and the man. So this has to do for we see in Jesus a person's balance developing holistically. The same happened in the mentorship. Us as mentors or as mentees, we need to try to develop these 4 areas in all where we are doing. Just to walk with them, to develop a journey that they hasn't done. The real transformation is going to happen when we count these 4 areas. Why are we working in these 4 areas? Because nowadays we are facing the challenge, a lot of activism. We are facing a superficial Christianity, but without a transformative element. We're just doing activities in an activities, but we're not transforming. Another challenge that we are facing is we reproduce and reflect emotional immaturity. We don't have we have immature leaders emotionally, spiritual, socio-emotional, immature. They don't know how to manage their emotions. That we are having spiritual babies, and that's another challenge that we are facing. We have a lot of activism and less work in the being. We reproduce immaturity, emotional. The other thing is that we are rushing. We are always busy saying, "Oh, we have an agenda. We have a commitment to go. We have an appointment. We have an activity that we need to do. We need to read a book. We have a Zoom meeting that we need to connect. We always have something to do. We are always on a rush, and we don't have time to work. And the best important, the person that you see in the mirror, your being. The other challenge is that we don't have the capacity to manage our emotions. We don't know how to process the anger, the sadness. And in Christianity, we have been taught that we repress this emotion, or we say, oh, those, being angry is bad. But I'm a pastor, but I get angry. But I'm a pastor, but sometimes I get angry. The problem is not to get angry. Like Paul says, you can get angry, but we should sin. But managing the anger also is that, the missing or the lack of self-awareness harm our relationship. Sometimes we know more the life of others than our own life. And we say, well, I don't have weakness. I don't have problems. I don't have weakness. And when we ask how are you, pastor? Oh, everything is good. Everything is victory. And the reality is not always are victorious. We have dark sides. There is a Christian. There is a Christian book that it says the dark side of the leadership, and And the point is not to deny this, but is to identify so we can recognize them and work to improve this area. These are challenges that we are facing, that these challenges don't allow us to grow. So we are doing or showing someone that we are not. We, showing that we are lions. In reality, we are little kittens. But the problem is that I'm a cat, but I want to behave like a lion. So when we go outside, we will meet real lions and they can eat us. So if I recognize that I'm a little cat, I just want to recognize that, and so I can be a better cat. Or if I'm a lion, I can recognize that and can be a better lion. So the holistic mentorship concentrate and to develop these areas so we can improve these areas. So the big challenge is to the big leadership challenge is to lead the person that or mentees. Oh, the big challenge of leadership is to lead the person that we see in the mirror. And the goal is to help the people, to help the person, that this person that we are mentoring, that this person can lead himself or herself to be better. So let us talk about these four areas quickly. First, the spiritual health. It's important to walk and spiritually speaking. This doesn't include just spiritual or spiritual life. But this doesn't have to do with just with God and myself. But when we see creation, and, and when we read Genesis, we see that took the from dust and blow life. Man became a living being. And the spiritual life touch three things: spirit, soul, and body. So we are spiritually healthy when we have a balance in this, and our spirit, soul, and body. And this is the share of the spiritual life. When we find the balance of this triangle, and when we found our identity as a creature, that has to do with myself, my soul, my identity, who I am, the communion with the creator, and the relationship with the creation. First has my identity as a creature, but also my relationship with the creator, and how this relationship affects my relationship with my neighbor. So the persons who has God's WhatsApp, they have a direct contact. Even if they have this direct contact with God, they have problems with the neighbors. Even the dog of the house bite them because they don't develop this relationship with their neighbors. But this person is not spiritual, healthy spiritual. So we need to bring into balance these three components so we can reach spiritual life, a healthy spiritual life. And how can we reach this? How can achieve this? When we take care of our body, when we have more time with the things that God created for us, or family, or friends, the creation, not the cell phone, Facebook or Netflix or the screen, but when we have good relationship with our neighbors, when we come to understand that to be with God is more important than to do for God. Mark, the Gospel of Mark, we read that Jesus called his disciples so that they could be with him. Before Jesus sent them to preach and heal, the first reason why Jesus called the 12 so that they can be with him. Because when I am with him, I start being, so I can start doing what God is asking me to do. In our Christian tradition, first we do. First we do. First we do so we can look like we are, and then we spend time with God. I know what I'm talking about. You. Uh, uh, and I'm talking, from the authority of the failure, and because I have failed, I have the authority, to share the. So, most of the time we do, so we can look like we are, but we spend less time with God. So we can be more with God. We can be more with God, so we can do what God wants us to do. So the idea is that we can develop this relationship with God so that you can grow spiritually. So when we find this truth, in this, understand this, how we relate with these three, spirit, soul, and body, so we can grow. Let us talk about emotions. Um, the emotional health is to recognize our own emotions and also recognize the others' emotions so that we can have a better interpersonal relationship. Is the capacity to know our emotions and to know the emotions of others and how we can manage this emotion, and so we can uh, have better interpersonal relationship. And I like this, the Christian life, the community, it's a manifestation of the kingdom of God. But let us talk truth. In the community of God, we have different kind of person. That's the reality. In this walking of the community, and we will find person that we like them, that we feel comfortable. And the problem is not to create groups, but the point is to have the capacity to manage our emotion and feelings, so we can have healthy relationship. And this is health emotional about, because many times we are not self-aware of emotions to make the decision. So we make decision based of not being self-aware of emotion. I am a emotional person. So to summarize, or to give you an example of my life, and one time I have a dream, and that morning I receive a word from God, and during the night I received a confirmation, a confirmation. Um, I received a confirmation at the night, and then the next week I moved to another continent, with my wife being pregnant 8 months. But I needed to filter. Um, I needed to filter this emotion, because if my wife is my anchor, um, she gives me the balance. But when we start getting to know our emotion and we are self-aware of our emotions, this is the emotional cruise Mario. So let us, calm myself. I'm so emotional that yesterday I ate the typical food of El Salvador, and now I want to move to El Salvador. I need to know myself, and I need to filter my decisions consciously. And other thing is that we deny our negative emotions. We denied. No. As a matter of fact, there are no negative emotions. We need to identify, and we need to um, we need to act as hostage of our emotions. We need to be free of our emotions. We don't have to allow our emotions to control our life, especially when we make important decisions, because we are public persons. The moment that you say something to someone, there is no going back. The anger, the depression, sadness, these are emotions that can possess us and can lead our life. There are 5 components in our holistic in our life. First, and self-awareness. First, you need to get to know yourself. Second time is self-awareness. How is to know myself, the self-awareness. There's the self-affirmation, the self-motivation. Know that I have a bigger purpose that motivates me to live. And then self-regulation, to control what I eat, what I say, what I think. It's a really important element. Let us talk about cognitive life. It's the ability to learn and to remember, to know, uh, there are three tests that help us to cognitive health. First, we need to know how to manage our time. It's the ability to think, learn, and remember. So the 3 things that we need to have a good cognitive health is time, talent, and treasure. And these are the things that we value more: time, talents, and treasures. And these help us to develop good attitudes. In order to develop this, we need to develop habits. Wanting to do it. I will not talk more about this, but to develop, habits, but we need to develop them. The habit help us to save energy. When we develop habits, is to have the capacity to process, to save energy, and the process to make decision to do things. Now let us talk about the less aspect is the physical health. It's incredible. It's incredible that a lot of persons, they have lost their purpose because they have not taken care of themselves. Because they say I'm under the grace. The flesh doesn't, the flesh is not important, because what is important is the spirit, because the flesh is going to be food for the worms. But the Bible that I read says that the body is temple and house for the Holy Spirit. And many things we take better care of the building, the church building, than our bodies. And this has to do with our health, physical, and our cells need 3 things: oxygen, water, and a good sense of elimination. If you want to be healthy, focusing on oxygen, drink water, and ensure like lymphatic system that is that your system can eliminate the toxins. And let me show you some. Let me give you some gift from the nature. So we can have a good, healthy body. That I'm not talking about, to have a Brad Pitt body or I say Angelina Jolie, but that lady is old. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about wellness, and we have some gift. So first, the gift of breathing. Learn to breathe. To learn that we breathe by the diaphragm, not with your chest. So like before you go to bed, you can breathe correctly. When you are stressed, that you can make 30 deep breath a day. I'm not talking about yoga or meditation. I'm just the fact that you can take deep breath, because these help. You are bringing oxygen to your brain, to your body. These help your cells. Please drink water, hydrate your body. Many times we drink more Coca-Cola. As a matter of fact, when I'm travel, that's when I drink sodas. We need to drink more water. At, at, at least they say that you need to drink 2 liters of water, but that depends of your weight and texture of your body. Well, give of food. Wow, it's good to eat pizza and hamburger, but those are exceptions. But we start eating in a healthy way. God gave us fruits, vegetables. God gave us a lot of things that these things are a gift from God. And many times we eat food that that is not healthy for us. That you can eat fresh fruits and vegetables, because these fruits and vegetables feed or it's a food for your cells. Many times it's better than it's better than water. And this is talking about system. A gift of movement and aerobic energy. Move your body. If you are Christian, if you don't like dancing, well, don't dance, but you can walk. You can take a walk every day, 1 hour. My friend Luis, take an hour walking there. Swimming is one of the sports. Swimming is one of the complete exercise, and it's because you move your whole body and you are not making impact like in your knees, but also the breathe, also your breathing, it's good. And also the gift to rest. God gave us 1 day to rest, and the body needs our bodies need rest, so we can be restore our body. So these 4 areas in the development of our being, and these help us to develop a holistic mentorship. And I want to finish this with these principles. So first, if I want to be a mentor, I need to experience this. If you want to become an effective mentorship, you need to develop these areas. You need to be. So part of our ministry is to develop a network of mentorship that help to help to develop the mentees. So If you want to mentor persons in a holistic way, you need to concentrate in these 4 areas. But in order to do this, you need to experience. We cannot give what we don't have. We don't expect you to be a liar, or that we don't expect you to be a Samson. We don't expect that. We don't expect you to be a John or Daniel. Like knew a lot of things, but just. But also that you can embark in this journey to develop these 4 areas that the person that you are mentoring can be developing these, and so together can grow. But in the same way, if you don't have it, please look for a mentor. Find a mentor that can help you to walk this journey, and I'm sure that you will not regret that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Harrison, for the invitation. Thank you. And I hope that we can continue this journey of developing the culture of mentorship. A hug and blessings. Thank you, Brother Cruz Mario. The truth is, it has been value. Many times we have notions or ideas, but we have learned that it is important to take into account these 4 elements. And I believe that this has touched our lives. And I hope that everyone can take this home. Please, Brother Cruz Mario, if you can talk about expand and share the vision. If you have a short time to share about expand, good. Let me put the background so it has a way to mark it. So expand was born from the authority of the failure. I'm talking as a pastor. When I was 28, I was overweight. I was suffering of high blood pressure, and I was weighing more than 200 pounds. I'm a pastor. You are hearing a pastor that has lost a lot of money because I've made a lot of rash decisions. I'm talking. This is a pastor who is talking that has been tired because has been really involved with a lot of activities and has been really exhausted. And we realize that this is the reality of many pastors, and this is the reality of many leaders, that they are experiencing the same thing that we experienced. And how we overcame all these challenges, and the way that we did it. What we did is, we slowed down, and we spent more time with God, and we, made that adjustment in the spiritual life and the emotional life through mentors and people who work with us. So we say, why don't we do this for others? So that's how Expand was born. And the idea is to mentor pastors and leaders so that they can develop these abilities and skills, so they can be and they can do, so that they can become healthy pastors and leaders, so that the churches can become healthy and communities can be transformed. So what we do is we equip pastors, and then these pastors can multiply this. And many years we have been concentrating on the growth of the church and the developing of the church, but we have not been focusing in the development of the pastor, not in the development of the leaders, and investing in the leaders. The church will not be multiplied if we don't work in the development of the leaders, spiritually, emotionally, and physically speaking. And that's what the SPAN does. And SPAN develops process to walk through in these 4 areas. And with our friend, Dr. Milton, we have been talking with the possibility. Well, it's not a possibility, it's a fact. We are here in El Salvador. And then the idea is that we can partner as a Mesoamerica region, that we can create a team, that we can train the pastors and then leaders, that they can come to the journey of multiplication, that you can have multiplication of discipleship, that they can have multiplication of churches, and so that this could increase the impact that you already are having. Now we are doing this pilot project with pastors from El Salvador, and to explore the adjustment that we need to do. So that is a SPAN, in other words, and we are here to serve in any way we can. And we are here to serve and be part of this as part of the agreement, and your districts and your local churches and countries. Thank you, Brother Cruz, for being with us. We have some questions that people are posting or writing. Where we can find information about Expand. I don't know if you can share, Brother Cruz, where we can find. Oh, it's the website is posted in the chat. How can we communicate to? It's a good. That's a good topic, but I think the problem is that some of the pastors see emergent leaders as a threat. Anyway, the website, you can access the website, but in the same way we are working with Mesoamerica, Evangelism Mesoamerica. You can check the website out, but we're doing this process with the Evangelism Mesoamerica. If you want to know more, what we are and what we do, you can, click. Well, the problem in the problem with the statement that our brother said is that, many of the pastor, many times the pastors see these threats because they have not embraced them. I want to share this. You cannot lead what you don't love. No, and we don't see our own children if they are developing correctly, because they are our children. So if we see new leaders as a threat, and then you don't love leading, and this is a principle, and also the discipleship is to love. When we start loving our youth, to love the emergent leaders, we will see them as potential mentees. So when you see them, in a higher places, you will say, I'm proud that's my son, that's my daughter. There's the last question. How can we us as church planter, how can the leadership of the local church can be developed in all these areas? And this has to do with developing a culture. Sometimes it's easier to change. It's easier to create a culture rather than changing a culture. So I will encourage you to create from scratch. I mean, you can start from scratch to develop these areas, and instead of changing the culture of the local church mentality. So when you start a church, like if you learn these principles as a church planter, and then you become a pastor, it will become a lifestyle that you will multiply. As a church planter, it's good to start a new culture. Has been a good time, and I hope that this content has been good, and we hope that this content not just stay in our head, but can come down to our heart so we can put it into practice. And I believe that what has been good, we can give a round of applause. So we can give a round of applause. We're gonna take the picture of today. If you can turn on your video, you can clean your eyes if you're still sleepy. Good that you were part of this. We're gonna take part. We want to leave the commercial or the announcement of the next mentorship. Dr. Science will be part of the next session. Now we're trying to do it at just 1 hour, so please reserve or put it in your calendar the next session. And this is open to everyone who wants to participate. So now we are looking at the announcement the next session, the 9th session. Dr. Sang is going to be sharing a really good topic. Please share this to your friends and other person that might benefit for this. So now we are we're going to be, you can open your microphone and we can be dismissed.